So good afternoon, Michaela Pavlátová. Thank you for being here with us today. It's an honor and a pleasure for me to have a discussion with you in this occasion. My Sunny Maad is clearly a special and important film, and I am looking forward to learn more about it from you. So before we start, allow me to introduce Michaela Pavlátová, the director of the film My Sunny Maad, very briefly. So Michaela Pavlátová is a celebrated Czech animator and filmmaker who has the animation department of the Film and TV School of the Academy of Performing Arts, FAMU, in Prague. Pavlátová first broke out in the festival circuit with the Oscar-nominated short films Words, 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 which was made in 1991. Her debut animation feature, My Sunny Maad, received the jury prize at Annecy Animation Film Festival this year. Now, let's start the Q&A session. I have a set of questions here, of which purposes are to better understand the personal and professional context, your journey as a filmmaker and animator. Then we can slowly move into the respective film and focus more on its social and even political context, if I may. So yeah, my first question would be, what has drawn you to becoming an animator? How does animation as a medium and aesthetic convention appeal to you?
I became an animator a little bit by an accident or by chance, because when I was young and after art high school, I was deciding where to go in Academy of Applied Arts. I wanted to go to the illustration department, but there was just too many applicants. And then I have noticed that in animation, there is not that many people. So it was that simple. But very soon I felt in love with the charm of animation. And what attracts me on it until today is that as an animator, you create completely new reality, something what would not exist without you. And that kind of feeling of power that you are the creator of the new universe, it is something which keeps me there until today.
Oh, wow. That's such an amazing description. And apparently, although it began as an accident, it becomes such a wonderful journey for you. It was a great decision eventually. Regarding how animation can create new reality, as you say, in what ways animation can offer new ways of thinking about important and even sensitive topics, as you have tried on My Sunny Maad?
I purposely chose this book, adaptation of the book, because I wanted to bring to animation some topic which would have nothing to do with animation, because I strongly believe that animation can speak also to adult audience and to speak about serious themes, because still very often animation is considered very much as a medium which is for children, that usually in animation you can see funny stories for children, but now we have already enough films which can convince the audience about it, that animation is for everyone and for all themes. So this was one of the main purposes. And I have chosen this book because I felt in love with the main character, Herra. Just immediately after I read the book. And I also liked very much that intimate look until inside that family. Which I thought that it is very interesting for me. And I also, some people can say why this film is not in live action film, why it is in animation. So
Oh,
it has
yes.
more
Oh,
reasons. Why is what one of them? It is because animation is my most favorite tool. Although I also directed 2 live-action feature films, but I feel the strongest in animation, and also in animation, you can deliver some things a little bit easier to people because animation is something like filter. It is not reality. And you can speak sometimes about some serious topics more freely than if they would see realistic pictures. It is something which delivers the theme sometimes smoother to the audience.
I see. I see. In that regard, what are the challenges and important lessons you've gone through as a director and animator throughout the process of making Sunny Maad? My Sunny Maad. Yeah.
First of all, I have learned that it is necessary to accept the work of the others, because before this film, I made many short animation films, which were author films. It means that I was in one person. I wrote a script. I was an animator. I was designer, and I was working with the help of very few people. And it was because you can do it in short animation films. And I like the complete control. So when I do it myself, then it is everything exactly how I want it. But of course, you can't make a feature animation in one person. So that's why you need to work with a team of people. And it took me a couple of years, maybe 3 years.
Oh, that's quite a long process.
Now, the process was much longer. The process took 6 years, but it took me 3 years to accept that the work of the other animators and other people that it's good, because I always thought, oh, I would have done it in my way. It is not exactly as I wanted. And then I realized that it is okay how they do it. So I have learned a lot about the teamwork. It was quite new to me.
All right. And are you working at any other projects at the moment that requires like commitment to teamwork or so?
So at the moment, I am preparing for the next film. So it is mostly choosing which theme I want to make the next time. And so I will see. Probably next time I will go again to the same form, to animation feature film.
All right. Are you interested to explore similar topics to My Sunny Maad in the future, or you would also like to try something different?
That's the big question, because now I realize much more how much time it takes to make animation feature, and I want to decide really carefully. So I don't think that I want to make another film about Afghanistan, but probably it will be again something about women and their position. But who knows? Because it is really difficult to decide what to make next 5 years.
I see. Fair enough. Now I'm going to move more into the social and political context of the film. So with the context of US military exit from Afghanistan this year, that makes your film extremely topical and crucial, as the whole debate of the West versus the rest of the world, or specifically the West versus Islam, comes into a full circle. A case in point is where Herra's Afghan family browsed through pictures of old Afghanistan, including the iconic picture of Afghan women in modern dresses, showing the the hair for example. We also see such pictures circulated again not so long ago as the world witnessed the comeback of Taliban rule in Afghanistan sometime this year. From a creative perspective, how can we do better in addressing the real problem of women oppression in today's Afghanistan, specifically the highly coded and restricted place of women in the family structure, without falling into the trap of essentialist thinking that equates women's freedom with Western morality? And specifically, what can we learn from the main character, Herra, who tries to strike a balance between personal and cultural morals in the film?
So it was quite a long question.
Oh yeah, it is. So in the end, I have two questions. Let me.
So it is. The question is what we can learn from Herra.
In terms of striking a balance between personal and cultural morals, if I may.
Probably I will answer. I like really very much your question, but probably I will answer simpler. I think that it is really nice that you mentioned these aspects, and I think that it is important to see real people apart from the politics, because politics is something that we very often don't like about some countries. We may not like politics in various countries in the whole world, but then they are single people and each of them are different. And so there is very important to see them and as the individuals. And in every country, and the same in Afghanistan, there is many different women, or many different people, and the same many different lives and many different women. And some of them are probably fine with the situation, how they live. Of course, that nobody can like or accept cruelty and some limitations which are now given to Afghan people and to Afghan women. But what I wanted to say that usually in Afghanistan, men are those who shown outside of the house that there are the leaders. But inside the house, in the intimacy, it is not necessarily like that. And very often the woman is stronger person in the family. Very often she is ruling the family. But on the public, it is of course the men. In Afghanistan, usually all responsibility is on men. Women are staying at home, but they don't have this responsibility. What we have, when I say we, it means women who live in the Western world. And we have our freedom, but we also have many responsibilities. We have to take care about us. We have our careers, but we also have many worries. We have our careers and money, but it is not also always easy. So some Afghan women may want it and the others not. So I think that the most important is to see and to accept like everyone. Nothing is black and white. This is exactly what Herra is doing, because she is coming from the West, but she also is aware that you cannot implement all rules from our Western civilization to other countries, that some things needs to be done slowly, that there needs to be some slow development. And I think that Herra is a good example, understanding both worlds.
Yes, definitely. That's one of the most important lessons that I learned from your films. Also, like as you said, when we really take a deeper look at individuals, that kind of perceived boundaries, the black and white, the private public, become untenable in a way that actually people's reality are more complex than stereotypes, than the grand narratives that we're so used to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and another question. This is actually my very personal question. When I saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be a comedy. It's going to be like lighthearted in a way. But then when I watched the full film, it becomes very serious, starting from the beginning. Although there is some funny side to it, but then as the film develops, it becomes very what is it? Yeah, heartbreaking even at the end. So what are the intentions of delivering the what is it? Yeah,
Um,
the two different sides of the film. Yeah.
I agree that our trailer is probably more cheerful than the film, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is the way how trailers are sometimes done, that they are trying to catch your attention, and we decided to make it this way. About the humor in the film, I must tell that one of the things which attracted me to make the adaptation of this book was the humor. It sounds quite strange, but the book is written in a very humorous way, because the writer, the Czech woman who lived in Afghanistan for 6 years, and she married Afghan men. It is kind of based on her story and on the story of her friends. The book is so charming for readers, because she comments everything from her European or Western point of view. And it doesn't mean that she is ridiculizing things, but she is trying with that, with her comments, which are sometimes ironical, sometimes sometimes humorous, that she is trying with this to understand also difficult moments, and also she can get through a dramatic situation if she looks at it from more easy point of view, from a more light point of view. I tried very much to put it to the film as well, but the film works in a very different way than the book. And I originally, my intention was to put there more this animation, imaginary moments, as you can see, for example, when they are on the skateboards, and on these moments. But then from the second half of the film, when the film already starts to be dramatic, it didn't work. So then you already have to follow the story. And these humorous comments, they were disturbing the film. And I wanted to fully respect drama of the film, and not to distract the audience with my funny comments.
All right, I see. So you have to make a choice along the development of the film. Yeah, I see. That's really great to know. Now, moving on to my last question, hopefully. So coming back to the discussions on the complexity of individuals, now we're going to talk more about the men's characters. So other than Herra and Nazir, Nazir's grandfather and Maad, another outlier in the film, seem to be placed at the center of the film's narrative, though they have considerably lesser screen time. And like Herra, they are attempting integration and reconciliation, but they continue to experience backlash from the rest of the society, who are increasingly disillusioned by the encroachment of modernity, specifically via global American culture, into their cultural space, and thus, in a way, embolden the binaries. Frišta is another key character in the film, whose judgmental gaze over Herra's arrival in the family slowly turns into a forthcoming one. What do these characters symbolize to you, particularly in relations to the novel and the author herself, who tries in a way to depict and tell shadows, luminous landscapes, and purposeful imaginings of possible futures.
So thank you again for this very long and complex.
Sorry, yeah, I tend to write long. Yeah, basically, yeah.
So I will say something about Nazir, Maad, and Frišta, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I need it simple.
All right.
So I tried in this book to keep the characters plastic. I mean, not to show them black and white. And because it is, as I said before, they were inspired by the real people, and usually nobody is good or bad, and especially with men in this film, we worked very carefully because we didn't want to show that Afghan men are bad and they are beating their wives. Yeah. Especially, I like very much the character of Nazir because he is on the edge of the Western world and behaving different when Herra met him, and when they met in Europe, and then when they meet back to his country, of course that he becomes again part of his society, and he respects the rules. And he is kind of torn between his love to Herra and also with the rules which are in his word. And also grandfather. The writer said that he is exactly as their grandfather was, that he was this kind of man who was Muslim, but with a very open mind, that of course that he respected Islam, but he was not so frantic about it. He also realized that he is part of the outer universe, and I like this character a lot, and he is for me like one of the persons who can help Afghanistan. With he is a really open mind, and Frišta, it's a person who I really admire her, although she is just a fiction character. But she is based on some characters that the writer met in Afghanistan. That it is a woman who really had a very hard life, and I think that nobody can imagine how it is when you get your children to the family of your husband. It means that you are losing the children. I think that for most of us, it is impossible to imagine that kind of loss, but she believes that she will have the new children again, and that she couldn't help to these children, and that actually there is something more written about it in the book, which we already couldn't put to the film, but she makes really a big step, which not that many women could do. And I think that there are actually not that many women who are doing it, but it was in the book, and I believe that it is that some women are that strong, that they follow their love or the vision of their new life when the life in the previous family is so difficult.
I see. What about the child, the adopted child, Maad? Yeah.
So Maad is the only fiction character in the book, because all the characters are based on the real people. Maad is somebody who the writer put to the book without the living person. And I think that she did very well, because Maad is like someone who is staying between the real life, between two oblivions, because it is said in the book that he is sick and he will not live long, and suddenly he can be like somebody who is above it, because he knows that his life is limited, and so then he doesn't have to care about anything, and so he is open to all religions. He is open to all people there, and so he is on side of Herra. He is also on side of grandfather, and like a peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's like some catalysator in the film.
Yeah, especially he's also like crossing the gender boundaries. Like he tried on the burqa and like play around with it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I had a quite hard time when I was thinking how he should look like, because in the book he is described in the way that it was not quite clear how what kind of a disease is it. And then I was inspired by the disease which is called progeria, and it is a disease that children usually live until 10 or 12 years, and they have a genetic disease that they grow old very quickly. And so they are 10 years old and they look like old grandfather, but they still have a child soul in it, and it is really. So my first sketches, and I thought that these are exactly those like a kind of aliens who came to Earth just for their limited time, and who show to all of us how life is short and how life can be beautiful. And they are also very, very intelligent. So this was my inspiration.
Oh, wow, that is so wonderful. And it's always good for me to learn the real creative process behind it. So this has been a really enlightening discussion. And yeah, I think that wraps up our discussion very nicely. Thanks you so much again, Michaela, if I may call you that way. It's been such a pleasure and honor. And yeah, hope to see you around outside of the context of the Singapore Film Festival in the future. And for the audience who are watching this Q&A session, the Singapore International Film Festival will be around until Sunday, 5th December.
Thank you very much for your nice questions.
You answer everything perfectly. Thank you so much.
I am imagining myself being in the Singapore where I have never been, but I hope that I will come one day.
I hope you make it to Singapore one day. Hopefully not too long before travel restrictions can ease.
Yes. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.